And I still think to myself, doesn't really matter what I effing teach you if I can't teach you to be consistent. My goal in life is to enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of my potential. If I haven't used every ounce of energy to provide value and be of service, I've ruined the day. I'm building a brand the last 3.5 years for one purpose. I want to empower over 1 billion people to be happy. That will empower 1,000 people in your lifetime to empower 1,000 people simply to be happy, to make more money, help more people, and have more fun. Consistency is the hardest thing for the human body to execute on because there's constant interference to consistency, and the mind, the body, and the soul are stupid, especially the body. It can't remember. It's so distracting. Right, but in order for you to be consistent, the body has to use 5 faulty senses and a faulty memory in order to remind ourselves, or recollect ourselves, or remember ourselves. We get in the theme about how words, remind, recollect, and remember what we're supposed to do in order to effectuate what we want. We have to be consistent, and it's hard. I teach discipline, I teach consistency. I've experienced the benefits of consistency. So how come I can't wake up in the morning and be consistent at everything I want to be consistent at, right? Whether it's nutrition or working out, or how is it I can't be consistent? Or even it took me 4 years to study the Course in Miracles every day, or 9 months to say thank you. Like the guy who stands on stage and teaches people to say thank you. Why did it take me 9 months before I could do it 30 straight days? The conscious mind tries to protect yourself with the ego. Well, when you try to do something every day, your ego doesn't like that, right? It's protecting yourself because it's hard, right? To do something every day doesn't feel good all the time. Where we want to be consistent is in our subconscious and unconscious, because your ego doesn't exist there. The ego doesn't exist in the subconscious. But how do you get something into the subconscious or the unconscious competency? By doing something consistently. Right, and that's why people who have obsessions, addictions, personality traits, characteristics that are so consciously logical. I want to lose weight, right? Or I want to quit drinking, right? Someone's a poor alcoholic or a gambler. I want to stop gambling. When they're not in it, outside of their ego, right? There's no resistance, right? They're in that conscious, subconscious, all working. But the minute the resistance starts, what do? Fear of loss. I'm not gonna be able to drink, I'm not gonna be able to gamble, and the ego starts saying you gotta protect yourself, so we limit the consistency. I talk a lot about all these little things. Do it now, do it in the calendar. We were even talking about some of the things today in the car, Dan, coming over, and I still think to myself, doesn't really matter what I effing teach you if I can't teach you to be consistent. Because consistency elevates your awareness. What's the lesson? Don't limit your point of entry. Consistently, persistently pursue your potential and enjoy it. That's all I did. I didn't let anything limit me. All I kept doing was thinking about what I wanted, why I wanted it, and how I was gonna get it, and trusted the universe. This is what most people do. They're afraid of heights. So what do? They go, I'm afraid of heights, and they focus in on being afraid, and they focus in on being afraid, and they keep focusing on being afraid. And then what happens? They get real close to what they're afraid of, and of course what happens? They fall off. Why? Because they're afraid of heights. And then, of course, they catch and they save themselves on some branch. And they're hanging there. And they're thinking, oh my God, is anybody up there that can help me? Now they're asking for inspiration. Now they're asking for help. When they put all their faith in what they didn't want, and they were surprised to get what they didn't want because they put faith in what they didn't want, and they're hanging there, and they're looking up, going in there, and they're helping. And then the universe or God comes down and says, yes, I am here to help you. Just let go. I'll catch you. But you know what? We're all too afraid. We're all too afraid to let go. So what do? We look back up and say, anyone else up there that can help me? Come on. I let go. I have all these epiphanies through my mom. Like when I had to tell her I lost her house, she changed my life, the way she responded. This one was different though. My mom is the queen of Jewish guilt. That's why my siblings are successful. But this is fairly recently, was making me feel guilty, and she was making me do things like, come down to my house and, can you do this for me? And I'm thinking, I have other brothers and well, you could do this. Like, what is it going on? I started realizing she wants me to prove that I love and appreciate her. So I put this thing to a test because I was just getting the workout thing. I said, all right, I should call my mom every day. And I'm like, that's not realistic. Like, you know, I started with consistency, something you can do for the rest of your life. So I said, I could give my mom a minute a day. That's what I did. I said, I'll give my mom a minute, minimum of a minute a day to tell her I love and appreciate her. Text, email, or phone call. I could remember to do that. I'll tell you, everyone here, if you try for 2 weeks even, spend a minute a day telling your mom you love and appreciate her if she's still here. Watch how your relationship changes. A minute, 14 minutes that we waste in one day, you can spend in 2 weeks, and your relationship with your mom will change completely, because all most moms want to hear is that you love them and appreciate them. It means the world to them. More than buying them a house, more than buying them a car. My son calls me every day. I've seen my mom, go somewhere and not any of the awards, not any of the BS stuff, right? Like, she'll talk to people there and like, oh my gosh, you must be so proud, blah, blah, blah. And I can see her say, well, he calls me every day. Like, that's her bragging thing. Not any other thing. It's just, oh, he calls me every day. And I think to myself, wow, 1 minute, exponential results. So lower the bar, concentrate on the machinery, not on what the habit is. I give everyone a challenge all the time. You probably know it, right? 0.1 seconds it takes. Say thank you. Try it. Say thank you 30 straight days, your life will change. Do it before you go to bed and when you wake up. I promise you, your life will change. Because it's the ultimate mathematical equation to luck. Because it's attention plus intention into gratitude, which will create a coincidence of what? Graciousness, truth, potential. Your life will change. I know this. I can tell you there's not one single thing that's not in my quantum being that I can remember to do every day. I just can't. I've been studying the Course in Miracles, and you would think there's no way he's going to forget the Course to study it today. I do it every day. It's not quantum in my being because sometimes I was, traveling and there's other, the senses aren't working for me. There's not a routine that's in the subconscious and things are confusing, and all of a sudden I'm lying in bed and go, whoa, I haven't studied yet. How could that happen? That's why for me, I've created all these mechanisms, reminders from people, student in my calendar, and I still can't remember everything. Even the littlest things every day. So once we acknowledge, acquire the knowledge, acknowledge these difficulties, they become easier. And guess what? The reason they become easier is once you acknowledge it, acquire the knowledge of it, you can forgive yourself. Because it's part of the process, the journey to enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential.